There's always a lot of hurt and a lot of pain that people encounter. And the church, through God's gift, gives very beautiful tools, the sacraments, to be able to bring healing to their brokenness, to be able to bring healing to the trouble in their life, to walk with them in their brokenness and to assure them that it's okay, that we're all broken and that God still loves us. As long as we keep coming back to the sacraments, as long as they keep coming back to God, as long as they keep trying, that God is still going to love them, that God's going to love them no matter what.
One of them is to give my first homily. Sometimes I imagine myself after I'm ordained that I'll see all my friends and my family there for my first Mass. Some of my uncles have even gone back to church because of how proud they were of me. And they said that they're going to do their best to be there for that first Mass.
One of my other favorites is funerals, as weird as that might sound, is funerals. And but just being able to pray with the families of those who have lost loved ones, to pray with them and to usher their loved one's soul into heaven, with God's mercy.
There's a tradition that when the oil is wiped off of a newly ordained priest, the smell remains on the towel that is used to wipe off the oil. And one of the traditions is you give it to your mother. And that is something that she presents to St. Peter, and it's supposed to automatically let her into heaven. Unfortunately, my mom's already passed, but she planned ahead. So she told me to keep the towel, and on the day that I'm ordained, present it to my godmother, her best friend. And she will keep that towel with her until she passes on, and she will take that to my mom. So I think I look forward to that day because for a little bit, I think I'm going to be able to be with my mom again. And for me, that's very special. One of my favorite saints has been St. Augustine. He had a close connection with his mother the way I did. And on those days where he had so many doubts, he used to ask God, give me a sign or talk to me. And it wasn't until after his mother's death that he realized that God was speaking to him, but through the voice of his mother. And also in his confessions, he said something that I've taken to heart. Don't stay in one place for too long because you'll start to stagnate. It's our duty to go out and learn as much as we can, to gain as much knowledge, because if not, we will not grow.
St. Peter is one of them. And I really like the image of him kind of doing things with all of his heart. And so I always, when I talk to people about St. Peter, I always use this image of him running toward a brick wall. And he doesn't ever see the brick wall. He's just going to keep running in full force. And so then now you have this hole the size of St. Peter as he's broken through that brick wall. And he finally learns his lesson, right? He loves with all his heart. He loves God. He wants to do exactly what God is asking him to do.
John Paul II. I think everybody will say that St. John Paul II is, he's the man. I mean, he got a lot of things rolling to the point where we're at this point today because he was such a huge influence to the world.
I remember my spiritual director asked me, he says, well, give me an example of mercy, of where Jesus is being very, very merciful. And that was with Mary Magdalene, I think. And that very beautiful scene, the disciples walk into the tomb and she stays outside of the tomb and she's crying and crying. And the man standing there, who she thinks is the gardener, asks her why she's crying. And she says, they've taken my Lord away. And Jesus looks at her and his this beautiful, tender look and says to her, Mary. She calls her by name. And that was enough for her to recognize Jesus and to jump for joy. So for me, wanting to be a priest and discerning that, I would hope that when people are in need of mercy, as they always are, as we always are, that they would run to the priest, that they would run to me, seeking out God's mercy, and that they would find it.